Every day is a special day on this paradise island for me, but today is extra special. I feel especially privileged to be the Indian High Commissioner here when India and Mauritius celebrate the 75th anniversary of their diplomatic relations. And I think it's doubly befitting that we are launching these celebrations today with an event that seeks to leverage our free trade agreement called CECPA to enhance the prosperity and well-being of the people of our two countries. An objective that has always been at the very heart of the uniquely close ties that our two brotherly countries share. As many of you know, India and Mauritius have walked hand in hand right from the beginning, even before our countries became independent and even before our formal diplomatic relations began. Our shared journey started when the first Indian indentured laborers set foot on Mauritius soil in 1834. The journey continued when, for more than 50 years, between 1878 and 1934, we shared a common currency, the Indian rupee. It is no surprise, therefore, that even after independence, India has always been one of the top 3 trading partners of Mauritius. And Mauritius has always been one of the top 3 sources of foreign direct investment into India. The future of our relationship looks equally promising. Mauritius is at the intersection of 3 priority areas for my country: our neighborhood first policy, our focus on the Indian Ocean region, and our focus on Africa. As India celebrates its 75th anniversary of independence as the world's 5th largest economy, we look forward to Mauritius continuing as a cherished partner in our growth story. It is, again, no surprise, therefore, that the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation and Partnership Agreement, CECPA, which we signed last year with Mauritius, is India's first free trade agreement with any African country, and India's first trade agreement with any country in a decade, since 2011. I believe that CECPA holds tremendous potential to boost our bilateral trade, as outlined by the Honorable Minister of Finance a few minutes ago. Why do I say this? India currently exports only about 3.5% of the total Mauritian imports on the 310 product lines offered by Mauritius to India under CECPA. Only 3.5%. Similarly, Mauritius exports only 0.06% of India's total imports on the 615 tariff lines offered by India under CECPA. Just look at the tremendous potential that we have right there. What is interesting for Mauritian exporters is that the top 5 Mauritian products, which form 57% of Mauritius's total exports to India, that is, more than half of current Mauritian exports to India, are also included in CECPA. How can we boost these Mauritian exports to India further? So while I invite our businesses to explore these opportunities, I'm happy to report that we are already on the right track. In fact, in just 1 year since CECPA entered into force, both Indian exports to Mauritius and Mauritian exports to India grew at an impressive 69%. To be precise, Indian exports to Mauritius grew by 69%, and Mauritian exports to India grew by 68.6%. I think that's amazing. And interestingly, in the same period, foreign direct investment from Mauritius into India also grew by 66.7%, from $5.6 billion to $9.3 billion, making Mauritius the third largest source of FDI to India. Ladies and gentlemen, going beyond the present, the statistics that I just quoted, just a few weeks ago, both our countries agreed to add a general economic cooperation chapter and an automatic trigger safeguard mechanism in CECPA, with an eye to opening up opportunities for business in futuristic sectors like healthcare, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, renewable energy, blue economy, port infrastructure, even space technology, investments, financial services, and so on. Many exciting new areas. And to me, CECPA can also position Mauritius as the springboard to Africa for Indian businesses, both for trade and investments. And it may surprise some of you to know that with regard to investments, Mauritius is already a hub to Africa for India, with over 90% of the $70 billion Indian investment into Africa going either directly to Mauritius or going through Mauritius into Africa. I think that's an impressive figure that very few people know. 90% of India's $70 billion investment into Africa being routed already through Mauritius. And as the Honorable Finance Minister said, as the world focuses on resilient recovery and supply chain strategies in a post-COVID economy buffeted by the ongoing war in Ukraine, CECPA can be an ideal platform to explore new opportunities, particularly in Africa. I believe that there are tremendous synergies between India and Mauritius, with the Honorable Prime Minister's dynamic vision of making Mauritius a hub to Africa by becoming a biotechnology hub, a data technology hub, an education hub, also a silver economy, that is a destination for retirees, and a green economy. And on the other hand, India growing by a record 13.5% in the last quarter, in the last few months from April to June, and becoming the fastest growing major economy in the world. Can we explore these synergies? I hope that today's discussions also focus on these exciting new frontiers. Personally, I think to tap into these opportunities, it is time for us to think of out-of-the-box ideas. For instance, can we have warehousing facilities for Indian goods in Mauritius for export to Africa? Can we set up Indian special economic zones to benefit from Mauritius's membership of SADC, COMESA, AFCFTA, and other trade agreements? Can we look at easing the movement of business persons between India, Mauritius, and Africa? I hope our discussions today will also look at these new initiatives that we can embark on. Ladies and gentlemen, the coming year is special for our two countries, not only because we will celebrate our close traditional ties, but also because we will chart a path for expanding our partnership into new exciting areas like the ones I mentioned. Before I close, I take the opportunity to extend my heartfelt thanks to you, Your Excellency, the Honorable Prime Minister, for your personal leadership and steadfast support in advancing India-Mauritius ties. I'm also thankful for the gracious presence of the two honorable ministers and for their ready assistance at all times. I think your presence here today testifies to the commitment of the government of Mauritius to further deepen our special relationship. I'm grateful to the Economic Development Board for taking the initiative to anchor this event, and a big thank you to all of you for joining us in this emblematic celebration of our special friendship. Thank you and namaste.